The sad truth of matchmaking is that 80% of the pool wants 20% of the pool.
Don't drink on your first date.
Yeah.
Do not talk about politics also.
We're all going to get wrinkly and grey. We have to see what really matters in the long term.
What are some assumptions people make about matchmakers?
That we are like Seema Aunty.
Today, I am pleased to be joined by Verona's esteemed panel of relationship coaches.
Valentine's weekend is hectic for us as well.
Or midnight.
And right, like the Sunday scaries are hitting you and suddenly you feel so alone.
I feel for our members.
For someone who's not conventionally attractive, are they cooked?
We want the member to be in the driver's seat, but in India, marriage is a family affair, so let's make it like a pleasant car ride for everybody.
But we're not only helping people to find their partners, but we're also helping them find themselves.
Yeah.
Let's go spicy.
One of the biggest myths is that people use a matchmaker because they can't get dates, when in reality, the people who come to us are some of the most highly sought after in the dating market. Matchmaking isn't about lack. It's about access, discernment, and having someone in your corner who understands both people and psychology. Welcome all.
Thank you.
What's the most surprising, shocking, unexpected request that you've received from a client or a prospective lead?
Make sure that the girl is as fair as you.
Wow,
Yeah.
interesting.
We had a request once wherein he was very specific about physically what they should look like, so much so that they'd send pictures of their exes as reference and was looking for a minimum 10-year age gap. It was actually not someone we ended up onboarding because it didn't match our brand philosophy.
You know, in the matchmaking process, people become very honest and candid, and it can be quite revealing about not just an individual, but also patterns in our country.
It's just not one perspective that is playing into the matchmaking, but it's actually your friends, your family, and then you have 10 other brains working on the same profile.
Sure.
So it's not actually an individual's choice that the person is making.
Even though the individual is the one who has to spend the rest of their life.
Yeah.
Understood. So kind of how all those voices come in and cloud people's judgment sometimes.
It does.
Have there been any other strange requests?
Either my wife shouldn't be, working in some MNCs, she should work from home. Most of the time it's coming from their family perspectives. I'm sure that the person doesn't want that.
And why would they not want a wife who works in an MNC?
Essentially, they're thinking about someone who will effortlessly fit into their life, because no one wants to go through that struggle of trying to see if we can make this work or not. We have a lot of people who come from family business backgrounds, right? And they do want their partners to kind of start something of their own or to kind of join their business instead of them being out there working like 12 to like 14 hours a day. So when they come with those kind of preferences, it's more about control and predictability is what we've realized.
Right.
It's actually about the expectations that a person has in their mind. Like they have a script in their mind on what are the ticks that they need to have. And I think it's from both the genders, because there are also girls who would like really tall men, even if they're 5 feet, then they would want men who are like 5'7" and above.
Once I heard someone say that I don't want a partner who comes with an emotional baggage. I was like, that's a bizarre request to make because everybody has lived a life and everybody has a past. It's unfair to expect that from another person, but the emotional intelligence quotient is a little lacking in a lot of cases.
Or if someone comes saying that, oh, they have no relationship history, like that's also surprising for them. Oh, they don't have experience.
It's a lose-lose. Like either you've had a relationship and now you have baggage, or you didn't have one and you're inexperienced.
Each human being has their expectations, and men come with bizarre requests such as like, I want someone who's athletic and fair. But these are fun ways of masking a certain body type or a certain color that, they're looking at. preferences are preferences, and that's fair, but you're thinking about the next 40, 50 years of your life. We're all going to get wrinkly and gray. So we have to see what really matters in the long term.
People don't understand the difference between deal breakers and preferences. Preferences can be anything, but deal breakers, you can't be very rigid about so many like factors.
Yeah. No, I was gonna ask you. My next question was like, what do you do when presented with requests like these?
I think firstly to sit with the person, like when we get a member with us, then I think it's actually building that rapport wherein they can be authentic enough to tell us what their actual expectations are, because so many times the requests are also very masked. Like I might meet the person for the first time and they may say that, okay, I'm very comfortable with caste and I'm very open towards it. But then after like 2-3 times you talk to the person, after you send them certain profiles, then they tell you that, okay, no, probably I want to like concise my preferences. My non-negotiables are this as well.
And I think what's so important is to know that your matchmaker, your relationship coach isn't here to judge you, isn't here to bring their own biases. They genuinely want the best outcome, whatever that means for you.
It's basically with doctors, therapists, and matchmakers, you need to be really honest.
Also, since we are therapists and psychologists, I think we understand them better and we can help them guide through what they actually want and what they actually need.
Yeah, I think it's so interesting how each of you wear so many different hats. You're not just their matchmaker, you may be their therapist, you may be their family counselor, you may be their...
Sometimes parents as well, because you need tough love.
How are you able to juggle those roles while interacting with the client, and how do you tailor your approach based on what they need?
Every client or every member is different because every individual is different, which is why the program looks different for everyone. It's not a one-size-fit-all program in any which way. We have members whose parents aren't involved at all, and we have members whose parents are involved since day one. We have members who want to get married within 6 months, whereas we have members who don't have any set timeline and they're looking when the right person comes across. So we need to kind of adjust and be malleable enough to be the right support system for them.
Can you tell me about a time when parents wanted one thing and the clients wanted something else entirely?
I had a client, of course not to name. There was a lot of things that was happening. Parents were very confused, and so was the boy, because he was not really ready to get married. He was only 24. On the other hand, the parents, because they were well settled, their main goal was only to get him married. And since they were also from a very, very well-off family, they basically felt that, their kid deserves the best. So they kept, calling us, and they were always included, which created a conflict of interest between the child and the parent, because the parent likes another girl, the child likes another girl.
Yeah, so we kind of brought them together and we were like, you guys need to philosophically align as a family as to what your non-negotiables are, what are your good to haves. We want the member to be in the driver's seat, but in India, marriage is a family affair, so let's make it like a pleasant car ride for everybody. So you kind of have to play mediator between not only the member and their potential partner, but the member and their family as well sometimes.
Tell me about a time where maybe someone struggled with internal like attachment issues and how you helped someone navigate that.
I have seen members who have been very insecure in terms of even looking at certain profiles because they've never been in a relationship, or they're moving ahead from a very complex family dynamic. So I think we do a lot of mock dates. Like I presented myself as a girl he was supposed to meet, and then he was able to talk to me, and then we were introducing certain small questions that can be asked on a first date. And then moving ahead, then he's comfortable now to look at profiles.
Yeah. When it comes to any type of attachment related concerns, the root cause is always fear. And when you're going into something like marriage, fear comes up even without you realizing it. What if I choose the wrong person? What if I settle for less? Or the fear of what if I end up alone? Everyone's getting married, feeling a little left behind. Now you're going to use FOMO and you'll get married.
Like there was a member who was like, if 2 people rejected me, I would do the same for the next 2 people, because they have to just let it do that to somebody. It's projection only that Some members do.
And you, on the topic of FOMO, do you find that there's like an uptick in clients coming to you at different points of the year?
Yeah, I think around the November or something.
February is heavy for us.
The wedding season.
Wedding season is.
Why might that be?
Because I think Instagram is full of all these stories and everybody's either attending marriages or getting married. So we also want to probably be in that zone.
We saw such a uptick in the number of subscriptions on long weekends.
Valentine's weekend is hectic for us as well.
Or midnight. Like we see, 1 p.m. Saturday evening.
You can understand, right? Like the Sunday scaries are hitting you and suddenly you feel so alone and you just want someone with you. So I think it's so revelatory of human behavior too, like those points where we feel the loneliest and reach out for support from someone.
We really feel for our members, because I think we've all been there at some point during our lives, right? To love and to be loved back is like a great feeling, and which is what we're all chasing after at the end of the day, right? We had a member who would constantly put all of his eggs in one basket, and I don't mean just one person, but seek all their validation from this particular person that they're speaking with. We went in and we did a lot of like sessions with them, and we kind of came to a point wherein you cannot be deriving all your fulfillment from one human being. It has to come from your work, it has to come from your family and friends, it has to come from your passions, your interests, your hobbies. It's a lot of pressure you're putting on one singular person, and I honestly think you're like shooting yourself in the foot, because no one person, even us as therapists, can fulfill that for
The role
anyone.
of a community, a tribe that we really all need.
Talking about the fear, it goes in two extreme places wherein you're extremely fearful to even get rejected, so you're self-rejecting. But on the other hand, you are so entitled sometimes because of your family upbringing, because of what you have in your mind about your own self-image, that you would want to have a very rigid, solid, non-negotiable, that okay, this is exactly what I want. Even to know exactly what you want is sometimes difficult.
A lot of times there's also like fear of intimacy. Things are going great between two people, but then the moment it starts getting real, they self-sabotage.
But you mentioned people who really believe they're the best. They are flying high, maybe delusional, have a very high sense of self. What are the archetypes of people that you get that are the hardest to match?
I think just people who are not open-minded. You're not coming to Build-A-Bear. I cannot be producing a human being for you.
What are some of the criteria you found people to be too rigid about that you don't think they need to be?
If I am a Sindhi, then I would want my partner to be a Sindhi because they understand my cultural background. But when it comes to a point wherein you're not okay with a similar background, similar education, similar profession, but then there's just this one point that you're super rigid about, but everything else matches, probably at that point of time you need to be a little more flexible.
Also, I think numerology, astrology, Kundli, it is important.
To some people.
Yeah, it is. But you've met a person and you really like them. You've met them so many times, and then suddenly Kundli comes up. Probably get the clarity in the first go. If Kundli really matters to you, get it checked in the first hand.
Yeah, I think what people are doing wrong is like they're looking for the one perfect fit, whereas it's like finding a good fit and then making it perfect with investing your time and effort and etc.
Building together, growing together,
Because there's no like 100% match. I don't think that exists.
Everything is available to us, right? And then that access transfers into having access to the perfect partner and being impatient to the extent of, I know people who've gone out on first dates and they're already thinking about their life like 2 years down the line. It's your first date. Why would you jump to conclusions? And what I've kind of realized is people who are difficult to match are people who are not ready for marriage. So if they go out on a date, they won't give us absolute, specific, solid, good enough of a reason or why that did not work. Or if we are sharing profiles with them, they'll find ways to kind of delay the process, or they wouldn't like be very specific about why this did not work.
I think sometimes people enjoy the validation that comes with like the shopping process. Like I love that hit of dopamine when I get to connect with someone, or just someone accepts me as a match, but they're not serious about finding one person.
Yeah, I think philosophically, people are looking for instant gratification over long-term fulfillment. And that's where the gap comes.
Also in theory, marriage sounds great, but when it comes to the practical aspect of it, suddenly you're like shitting bricks.
Because you have to show up, it's a responsibility.
Yeah, marriage is work.
Yeah.
So we were talking about first dates a little while ago. I want to understand from the professionals, the experts, what are some first date basics that I need to be aware of before going in to meet someone who I may have been set up with?
Don't talk too much about your exes, number one, and don't make fake intimacy.
You know, sometimes the intention is to be really honest with the person and, I don't want to hide anything, but maybe the first date isn't the space to do that.
But to be honest, don't drink on your first date.
Yeah.
Don't never drink on your first date.
Do not talk about politics also.
Don't choose like very,
Difficult
topics. Yeah.
Maybe don't talk about your traumas as well. I have done that. That doesn't work well.
On first dates, have a glass of wine, have a nice cocktail, that's fine, but don't do tequila shots on your first date. Probably not the best idea, because that does foster some amount of fake intimacy. Like after a few drinks, everyone likes everyone, right? And that's not what we're looking for over here. Also, you're not going to be drinking for the rest of your life, right? Like your life is going to be sober. So like see if you can get on with the person sober.
Simply put, what is the goal of the first date? Am I able to suss out whether this is my life partner, or what is the objective that I'm going in with?
Look at it more as like a process of elimination. Is this like something I don't want at all? Rather than, is this the one? Because that's again so much pressure you're putting on a coffee. Your first date has to be like Italian acha lagta hai, Chinese. Just see if you can have a conversation with this person and if you want to go on a second date.
I don't think too much focus is actually needed. Like right now we are sitting on a round table and talking. Like if I'm comfortable talking like this as I am with my own thoughts, I am comfortable to go out again with you guys.
What helps is just like curiosity, a lot of curiosity. Talk less about yourself maybe.
Ask questions.
I've also kind of heard people say that it was just me talking throughout the date. Like I had to lead the conversation.
Carry the weight of the conversation.
Because you're not asking any questions.
Exactly. I was going to say, on the other hand, the other person's just sitting and waiting for you to ask a question.
Maybe the next date could be you asking the questions or they asking you the questions. Like ruling it out at the first date, there has to be a significant red flag for you to do that.
So if it's not an absolute no, then be open to perhaps exploring a second date.
And also, like, are they okay with you being you? Like, are they okay with how expressive you might be? Or are they okay with how you talk about your friends? Are they comfortable with you being your 100%?
I'm not even worried about if he's okay with me necessarily. Like, I try to go into it being not worried at all about what he thinks about me as much as like trying to objectively evaluate, do I like them? Do I like how I feel with them, right? I think a lot of us spend so much of the date worried about, oh my God, is he gonna like me? Does he like how I look? Does he like my outfit? Does he like what I'm saying?
That's what brings a relationship down eventually, like when the honeymoon period is over. Because if you're not authentic from your first meet, like you won't be able to be authentically yourself.
Exactly. But authentic, but within reason. That doesn't mean that you overshare everything. You balance authenticity with a little bit of strategy. Like you don't have to give everything out on the first date.
If I want to be relatable to her, I would try to do everything that she likes. But in reality, I probably might not like that. In reality, I might be a home girl, you know, sit, sleep in by 10:30. But hey, Anushka likes partying and she likes going out and, you know, she likes music. I'm going to do that. So I'm going to be the person who Anushka likes. And I'll do that for the next 6 months.
But then Reena,
Yeah, but then, you know, we forget asking, like, do I like Anushka though? That's such an important question.
What is, in your experience, some advice for someone who's building a serious intentional profile to enter the matchmaking world?
Put pictures of your present of high definition. I saw a profile where the pictures were probably 10 years old.
Maybe not too many gym selfies. I don't want to see you without clothes.
Rented cars, rented dogs.
Well, so this is all for guys. What about on the girls' end?
Girls try to wear too many sarees and too many Indian outfits. So I think a mix of both. If you wear Western, if you like Western, wear Western too.
Be yourself.
Show what you really are.
If you like cooking, why not have it on your profile? And if you like gardening and baking, why not have it on your profile?
Let it be a holistic representation of your identity, not just disproportionately emphasizing one characteristic over the others.
Yeah.
What are some like industry insider secrets?
The truth is, men love younger women, period. We receive amazing profiles, but they are women in their late 30s, mid 30s. And you know, when we look at it as like relationship coaches, we're just like, wow, this is a great profile. You know,
What an intelligent girl.
our members gonna love it. The reality is that they're trying to go for someone who is younger, may not be as educated or from the Ivies as a 35 or a 38-year-old, but they might think that, oh, she's younger, you know, she'll adapt more to our family.
And also the like unspoken taboo is about the fertility timeline too. I mean, when you are older, I'm sure that is a factor for men. And there is a lot of data that shows that men really focus on the photos of the profile, whereas women do love to also read more about the about section and stuff like that. For someone who's not traditionally attractive, are they cooked in the matchmaking world?
Really, really not. One just needs to be aware of like where you stand and what you're looking for. If I don't have an Ivy League education, maybe expecting that out of my partner is a stretch. And that's similar for looks, right? Like we all own a mirror, we all know where we stand. So play in that ballpark range. We've also seen a lot of really intelligent, very attractive, conventionally attractive looking people also get rejected. It's kind of fair game for everyone.
Yeah, and it's so interesting because I think people who are, you know, a 5 or a 6, if they are continuously aiming for 9s and 10s, they're shooting themselves in the foot because their chances are going down. But also that might not be a good fit compatibly in the long term.
The sad truth of matchmaking or even any dating platform is that 80% of the pool wants 20% of the pool.
Also, don't you guys think beauty is subjective?
It's so subjective, so
For
subjective.
me, a guy who's really good looking may not be good looking for you.
We'll see a boy and a girl and we'll be like, he's so good looking, let's convince him first. But then the girl will end up rejecting him because I may find him good looking, but maybe Varsha doesn't.
Yeah.
People really underestimate the power of like a good sense of humor.
And a personality.
A personality, yes. Kindness is so underrated. Like, it's so underrated in today's day
I
and
think
time.
no one is cooked because there are 14 billion people, right?
Yeah.
It's just looking for that right puzzle piece to fit into your own puzzle.
And also not like self-eliminating, like you guys said. Like if someone is more attractive than you, like don't assume they're gonna reject you off the bat, like and say, oh, she's too pretty. Let me just reject myself before.
Or he's too good looking, so I'm not even gonna try that because you're missing all the shots you don't take. And I think after some time, everyone becomes similar looking. Like when I meet you after 10 times of me meeting you, you know, you're the same, but then other values take forefront, right? Like, are you funny? Are you kind? Are you authentic? What values will you give my children?
Also, you mentioned that growth mindset, right? Like you're really looking for someone who's open to evolving with you over time as opposed to someone who's very rigid. In your experience, what is the ideal age for an individual to enter the matchmaking process?
27, so that you have a year to figure out what you truly want, because most of us don't know that when we enter the process. And then, you know, 28, 29 is a good time, you know, in case you want to have children in the future, for you to kind of enjoy your married life. It does become harder because we become more strict and stubborn with our own choices, so we become more rigid. We are less malleable, and so is the other person.
I do not agree with that.
I also don't agree.
After working with so many people, we've realized that you could be 27, but you could not be emotionally ready. You could be 35 and you could have a great career going for yourself. You could still not be emotionally available. Depends on which stage of life you are in, how emotionally ready you are, and
Committed you are
how
to the
committed
process.
you are to the process of building something.
I think you also have to be very honest to yourself and like, you know, really see if you're doing this out of loneliness or if you want companionship.
Or out of pressure.
Or out of pressure.
Have you had clients come to you out of sheer family pressure and then they realize later they're not ready for this process at all?
It's family pressure, it's also societal pressure, it's peer pressure.
And I think even these celebrity weddings have a major role to play in people's minds. You have their costumes, you have their destination weddings, and you have all of those things on social media, and you're just feeling that FOMO so much
Yeah.
that, I can do this, but I'm not able to do it right now because I need a partner.
I feel for our members, right? Because if I open Instagram, someone's either getting proposed to or they're getting married. Then their Pehli Lodi, Pehli Diwali will start off. Karwa Chauth. It's never ending. Yeah, then the baby shower. It's never ending.
I want to shift the focus away from the members and to you all, the professionals, the experts. What are some assumptions people make about matchmakers, about relationship coaches, and how true are they?
That we are like Seema Aunty.
One sense that I've gotten from each one of you is how much you genuinely care about your members. Also, in working with you, have learned how each of you is trained professionals. You approach this with a very clinical lens, and you would do everything in your best interest to help them.
If I have a target that I have to put someone in X number of matches or Y number of conversations, but I truly don't think it's a fit, I will not go ahead and do that. Sure, introducing you to people is my job, but protecting your heart and your emotional bandwidth is also my job, right? And it is a really personal process. We end up spending so much time with our members that when they actually get married, we're all like, we're celebrating, all of us.
As you support and encourage them, you're also going to ask them those tough questions, give them that tough love, and be really strict. I think the other assumption is that your matchmakers, you can demand or ask anything of them.
We can see the pressure they're feeling, the desperate. They're like, where is she? Or like, why hasn't this worked yet? And we get cooked in that process, but
Don't shoot the messenger.
Do they ever take it out on you guys?
I have been to matchmakers before, right? And not throwing shade, but the kind of conversations that I would have with them versus the kind of conversations I hear my members have with my team. I'm sure they're successful and, all respect, but I would rather have it done the right way than get you married off to someone and it not last, So I'll be honest with my members. I'll be like, there are these 2-3 guys or 2-3 girls, but I don't think this is worth your time. So let's give it a skip, or like, I leave it to your comfort. But there's an opposite also where they're not feeling it, but I'm like, listen, I have spent time with this person. This is such a good fit. You need to have one call. Do it for me. And they do it for you. So it's very different to any other typical broker.
Not just trying to put them in a match just because I want to get them married, but actually understanding the psyche, because like we're all psychologists, and basically we would focus more on the aspect of who would be a better fit in terms of mindset, in terms of personality, not just your socioeconomics and not just your physical attraction part, right?
Or caste.
We're not only helping people to find their partners, but we're also helping them find themselves.
yeah. इसी बात पर.
I mean, I think the one philosophy we believe in is you have to be the best version of yourself to attract the best partner. So let's work on you together as a team, and then let's go find that person.
And love yourself so you find love.
Yeah.
Do matchmakers ever date their clients?
No.
You spend all this time together, you bond so much, you're so emotionally involved.
All Verona members are my brothers and sisters. Like, the oath that you're taking. All my brothers and sisters.
Call everyone on Rakhi.
Training. Like, we're trained not to.
Code of ethics.
Yeah.
I want to talk about like Verona's clientele. So describe the typical archetype of client that comes to you.
A typical Burgundy member is someone who is well educated, is accomplished, and has kind of like arrived in their career space. They're super intelligent, often very good looking people, but they just don't have the time. So they've just delegated this to us. Like, if I'm filing my taxes, I'm going to my CA, right? I'm not doing it myself.
Yeah.
So it's just people who are doing really well themselves in life, want a partner who values the same things and just don't have the time.
We mostly have people like from business families, people who are doing very well after studying in an Ivy League, they've come back, or we have people from
IITs, ISB, senior management at good companies.
People who've had their journey basically.
I think they value the exclusivity of the fact that like, I don't just want to be floating around as a biodata somewhere. I just don't want to be a dating app profile that's just floating around. Modern dating is too open it's too fast, it's too unstructured, and they would rather have a network that's closed and curated for them. And they're very analytical people. They're practical, they're logical, and they've applied those frameworks to every other aspect. So why not this one too? It is that clarity that they didn't want to waste time sifting through thousands of profiles, and kind of the difference between like a first class experience versus an economy or a business class experience. Like they just want what they want. And they're not gonna go looking for it. They want it to be more curated.
And I feel the reason they trust us because, it's easy to, have a communication with a psychologist, because there are men who can't, express their emotions clearly either with their family members or simply, some people who are very shy about, sharing their feelings either through some random matchmaker, or they don't want their, biodata to get lost in WhatsApp groups of their family, casts and everything. So, and they would trust a psychologist.
This
in that
protects
process.
them. And this insulates them. It's much more private. They get a lot more discretion, especially if your members are like high network or public figures.
Most of our members are individuals who are very good with their personalities or education or profession, or are from a very reputed business family. So it's not a very common pool to find. It becomes more curated because the pool is such.
They want to mingle with people like that.
Exactly.
Thank you so very much, each of you, for joining me here today at Verona's first roundtable. We hope to see you again soon. And thank you so much for your contributions to our members and to the world, bringing more love into a bleak world otherwise. Thank you so much for watching Verona Roundtable. If you enjoyed this video, do be sure to hit subscribe, share it with your friends, and leave in the comment section below what questions you'd like us to ask our relationship coaches next time. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.